What's happening, people? I hope you're all well. So, Canelo versus Gennady Golovkin. This fight is a good fight. It's an interesting fight. However, I must say before I begin, it's a fight I would have liked to have seen a lot earlier. So, the last fight, I believe, if I just quickly get up BoxRec, I'm just going to quickly get up BoxRec, just seeing when the last fight happened. Because they fought twice, obviously. I think at least one of those times I thought Gennady Golovkin won. And their last fight was in 2018. So they fought in 2017 and 2018. And this fight is happening in 2022. So I would have liked to have seen this fight earlier. I think that Gennady Golovkin now is past his best. I think that's clear to see. And I think that Gennady Golovkin at 40 can still cause Canelo problems. But I think that it's a shame, because if Gennady Golovkin loses this fight, there could be an argument of, well, he's past his best, so what did you expect? Or even, it's a shame because had he have fought Canelo when he was younger, it could have been a different result. And arguably, he won at least one of those fights. So it is a shame in that respect, but it's still an interesting fight. Now, there's some interesting facts about this fight. There's some interesting factors about this fight that I'm going to go into. So, this fight is happening at super middleweight. Now, for Canelo, that shouldn't be much of an issue because he's fought at middleweight, super middleweight, and light heavyweight. However, with Gennady Golovkin, I don't think he's fought at 168 before. I don't think he's fought at 168 before. So, this is going to be an interesting watch, but the only thing I would say is that for Gennady Golovkin to fight at 168 for the first time against a fighter as good as Canelo is perhaps another thing that's in Canelo's favour. So had Gennady Golovkin fought once against a lower level opponent and then gone in and fought Canelo, both of those fights being at super middleweight, so he has a warm-up super middleweight fight and then Canelo, that may have been better for him. But either way, it is what it is. Now, with regards to this fight, I think Canelo has a much better chance. But, and here's the thing, before the Bivol fight, I would have said Canelo confidently to win this fight. However, he's now coming off a loss. How has that loss affected him? How has it affected him? That's an open question. Who knows how that loss has affected him? Because is Canelo a fighter that loses a lot of confidence after a loss? That is what needs to be looked at. That means that Gennady Golovkin has a better chance of winning this fight. The other thing is, I heard that Canelo's now a vegan. Now, the human body, I believe that you're stronger when you eat meat. So is Canelo going to be weaker in there? That's another question. So there's two things that actually could suit Gennady Golovkin. Canelo being a vegan and potentially being drained in the ring and not having as much energy and not being as strong. And also the fact that Canelo's coming off a loss. Now, Canelo has fought better opposition, so looking at the opposition since they last fought each other, just looking at the opposition since they last fought each other. So Gennady Golovkin fought Maratioson. That's before the last one. So Canelo fought Steve Rolls, Gennady Golovkin fought Steve Rolls, Derevianchenko, which he may have lost that fight in reality. Zezmeta, Murata, So these are solid opponents. Well, some of them are. Steve Rolls is decent. Derevianchenko is a good fighter. Zezma Meta, not a great fighter, and Murata, a solid fighter. So he's fought some decent fighters. Now Canelo, since the Gennady Golovkin fight, has fought Rocky Fielding. That's not a good fight. Daniel Jacobs, that's a solid opponent. Kovalev, that's a good opponent. Callum Smith, that's a good opponent. Yildirim, that's not really the best opponent. Billy Joe Saunders, that's a good opponent. Caleb Plant, that's a good opponent, and Bivol, that's a good opponent. So perhaps Canelo's fought the better opposition. And I would say that in this fight, let's talk about the actual fight itself. I think that Gennady Golovkin is going to... It's going to be interesting to see who goes on the front foot here, because Gennady Golovkin being very physically strong, but Gennady Golovkin's not as fast as he used to be, and he was never that quick. Gennady Golovkin's been hurt to the body before. Canelo's a good body puncher. So I think in this fight that it is in Gennady Golovkin's best interest to put Canelo on the back foot. I think Canelo in this fight, is he going to come forward? Is he going to go... Well, I actually think that he may go on the back foot in this fight. I reckon it could be Gennady Golovkin coming forward. Gennady Golovkin coming forward behind a solid jab, trying to land his powerful punches. And then I think that Canelo may be on the back foot trying to counter, because he's a good counter puncher, and he may be looking, and he should be looking for the body. And I think that Gennady Golovkin's going to get hit in this fight a lot, because he was always getting hit before, but now he's slower. So it's a lot of this fight depends on how tough Gennady Golovkin still is, because he was very tough before. He showed toughness against Murata. How tough is he? That's what a lot of this fight is going to depend on. And then with regards to Canelo, it's going to depend on how strong he is, obviously this vegan diet, how he copes with the loss. But I see Gennady Golovkin being on the front foot. I see Canelo on the back foot, trying to use his advantage in speed and trying to land body shots when he does get inside. So that's what I see happening in this fight. I think that, Canelo, he has the better chance of winning this fight, providing that he is strong and providing that he handles the Bivol loss well. I think that Gennady Golovkin has a chance because of his punch power. I think that Gennady Golovkin is very physically strong. However, I think he's sufficiently declined for Canelo to definitely be the one with a better chance of winning this fight. And it's a shame, as I already said, because Canelo obviously before, Gennady Golovkin before, was a better fighter than he is today. And that is going to be a real shame if he loses this fight. Never got a win against Canelo on paper, but arguably got a win against Canelo at least once, and then loses this fight conclusively. I think that would be a shame. But I think Canelo has a better chance of winning this fight. What do you think? Let me know. Like the video, subscribe to the channel, leave a comment, hit the notification bell so you get a notification when I make a new video, and I'll see you on the next video.